bullied to death. This article talks about the damages, how students basically suffer bullying and the negative effects that it has on children growing up. But what I attest to is that when you're labeled and stereotyped growing up, ridiculed, dumped on, treated like shit, dissed, spat on, shat on, heckled, harassed, insulted, put down, degraded, it doesn't stop after when you're a teenager. It doesn't stop after high school. It don't stop after undergrad. If you go to college and you're in your early 20s, it doesn't stop after that. I'm so sick and tired of people saying that the bully will outgrow it. That's a funny statement because they will never outgrow it. That same bully is the type of motherfucker that will one up someone. It's going to be a boss. It's going to be a police officer, a crooked prosecutor, crooked lawyer, crooked judge, crooked principal of the school system, public, a crooked asshole of a teacher. Jobs that require some form of so-called authority, when these people get power. I know it's about bullies and bitches. They always get these authoritative positions in the workforce, and they treat people like shit. I mean, they're cutthroat. They grin and smile in your face. They stab you in the back. They fuck and suck their way to the top. They manipulate. They hurt other people to get ahead. They bully other people to be on top. How can you expect somebody to stop bullying somebody for stupid ass parents when you was a bully yourself? You was a bully too. That's how you were able to live that rich lifestyle. But how do you? Just so many rich people, man, out here who used to be bullies. I'm talking about when they run stuff. Your politicians are bullies. Your CIA are bullies. The military-industrial complex is full of bullies, with lieutenants, sergeants. Those motherfuckers run shit. I'm going to show you a quick video, then I'm going to carry on my rant.
Bullying has always been a problem in our schools, but the tactics are becoming more aggressive. Last year, more than 160,000 children chose to skip school because they were afraid of being bullied. According to bullyingstatistics.org, 1 in 7 school-age children will be involved in this kind of abuse, either as a bully or as a victim. 61% of students polled attribute the rise in school shootings to an increase in bullying. That very same study
exactly
also shows homicide suspects are twice as likely as homicide victims to have been bullied during their formative years.
I want to show you how you correct your own killers, because he just brought up a point that was spot on.
Shootings to an increase in bullying. That very same study also shows homicide suspects are twice as likely as homicide victims to have been bullied during their formative years. Shootings to an increase, the rise in school shootings to an increase in bullying. That very same study also shows homicide suspects are twice as likely as homicide victims to have been bullied during their formative years. Students polled attribute the rise in school shootings to an increase in bullying. That very same study also shows homicide suspects are twice as likely as homicide victims to have been bullied during their formative years. In fact, there's even a new term that has been coined now. It's called bullycide. It is used to describe the taking of one's own life after being bullied. One local family is dealing with the hurt after the death of their 12-year-old daughter. On Thursday, organizers in Chilton County will hold a vigil at Goose Pond Park in honor of Deja Lee. The event will not only recognize her life, it will also serve as a way to educate the public on the dangers of bullying. That event will be held tomorrow night at 7:30.
I'm pretty sure she would get empathy and sympathy and some emotional support because she's a female. It's so sad I have to look at it that way, but I just look at the matriarchy and feminism in society, because chances are she probably won't be called weak as much. Like this young man right here. The ability to create your own killers, and this is what you motherfuckers do. You people who do this shit and grew up doing this shit, this is what you do. You create your own killers. Right here. Proofs is in the pudding. And especially when you women, you're notorious for creating your own killers. But let me show you this first. Boy 10 shoots teacher in class before killing themselves. Sorry about that. Boy 10 shoots teacher in class before killing himself with policeman's dad's revolver. And I'll tell you this, dude, you got teachers who are notorious for being bullies. Principals, like I said, I'm talking about people who work in government. Bullies. Police officers. Bullies. Prosecutors. Bullies. Lawyers. Bullies. Judges. No doubt. Bullies. FBI. CIA. Head military officials like lieutenants and sergeants. Bullies. Your boss. The managers. CEOs, most of them are bullies, man. I rarely see anybody was a nice, kind, loving person who cared about the people and cared about the employees, cared about their guests as customers. They care more about their position, and they don't care about their employees. They don't care about the guests as much as they should. They care about making profit and getting ahead. That's corrupt. There's no end to greed. I'm gonna read you this article. That was on a tangent side. A boy of 10 shoots his teacher in front of terrified classmates, then turned the gun on himself. Policeman's son, David, and I'm gonna pronounce this the best way I know how to pronounce it. Nagura. Sorry if I'm fucking up your name, but it's difficult to pronounce. Blasted Vasily Korios de Oliver, 38, twice with his father's revolver, 8.8 revolver, in front of 2,500 horrified youngsters. I don't know what they were terrified about. They created this guy. I'm pretty sure he was a bully victim across the board, and he had nobody to lean on. As the teacher lay bleeding on the floor, David ran out of the classroom into the hallway and shot himself in the head. Poor kid. And this is in another country. I expect this to happen in the USA because people treat each other like shit, and that's the culture. But it's global. Shock. David Nugara asked to be excused from the class to go to the bathroom and shoot the teacher when he returned before committing suicide. A side note there. Miss Corios de Oliveira, whatever the fuck you say, excuse me, was taken by the helicopter to the hospital before where she was taken today recovering from her injuries. She has a broken hip and a broken kneecap. David was also taken to the hospital but died afterwards. Bled to death. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. The bloodbath happened at the local high school. I'm not going to say the name's too difficult to pronounce right now. It's in another language. A leading state school in São Caetano do Ceará in Brazil, in the Brazilian state of São Paulo, at 3:50 local time yesterday. Captain Robinson Castro Pill from the military police said the boy asked permission to go to the bathroom, and when he came back to the classroom and shot his teacher. He ran out and shot himself. Police are investigating how the boy had the revolver and his motives for the horrific crime. Friends said the day before the tragedy, he talked about shooting his teacher and himself and never revealed the motive. Wait a minute, hold on. Friends said the day before the tragedy, the boy talked about shooting his teacher and himself but never revealed a motive. Okay, before I even finish the last paragraph, how can you say that? I mean, his friends, his so-called friends, I don't want to say they're friends, already talked about this, about shooting his teacher and then shooting himself. Obviously, there was some issues with the teacher, and I'm not gonna, because I don't think any kid wants to just shoot somebody for no reason. And I'm not justifying the reason is right, but most of the time, unless the person's just mentally ill and you can prove it, this kid was not mentally ill overnight. He became mentally ill because the way he was treated and the way society has the ability the way the world has the ability to treat people the way they don't want to be treated themselves. That's how the world works. The lack of ability to grow the fuck up and treat somebody the way they want to be treated, and it comes from, and it was disappointing about adults and people who are, who are sadly raising these kids because that's what the government wants with the school system of indoctrination. Take the kids out of the home of the natural family, where the government becomes their family. I mean, Aaron Russo, tells it as it is. You got the school raising this kid, and they raised this monster. So it's a society's fault at the end of the day. No kid just wants to just shoot another person. Especially another adult, what you're supposed to look up to. And obviously, I'm going to say the teacher did not do a good job. Because the teacher created her own. He was probably was a female. Probably made fun of him. Probably stereotyped him out. Labeled him. And then the classmates co-signed and following along with the group thinking. Because that's what you're taught in school. You're never taught to be your own individual, nor think for yourself. You're taught to just. It's an institution for programming of conformity and eugenic practices, legalized eugenics practicing. It's all about teaching you conformity and practicing eugenics, and to become an illogical, non-thinking future slave for this fucking system. I mean, the motive is, I mean, obviously, the teacher, I mean, and then I'm not gonna say that that's the only reason. And the way he was treated, probably had some issues at home, likely. But I'm gonna say, since kids don't stay at home that long and I'm in school most of the time, he had issues in school, and it was never done about it. Never taken serious. It was never taken seriously, and that's why that happened. A neighbor. I'm going to read the last part. A neighbor of the child's family, Paulo Roberto Quintano de Silva, 49, described the 10-year-olds as quiet and polite, good kid. Paulo added, "I can't believe he could have done such a thing." Security counselor in the city, Marcela Rodriguez, said the boy's father, Nickton Ivenganza Nakuraria, has been a police officer for 14 years and has an impeccable service record. I'm going to show you some comments. Okay, this is in Brazil. This guy's from Brazil. The boy suffered from bullying, and he had a defective leg, and he had a limp. Yeah, eugenics, stereotype him out, make fun of him, point out his flaws, and use it against him because you're evil like that. Many of his classmates tease him on a daily basis. I don't know why he shot the teacher though. Maybe she should have did something to make it stop. And she knew why she didn't make it stop, because she didn't give a flying fuck. What the hell? I mean, and obviously they don't want nobody commenting on this article because you can't say shit. Because it probably you might actually tell the truth and actually identify the problem and then come up with legitimate, realistic solutions to fix the problem. But they don't want that. And then you got this, another incident. You people know how to create your own fucking killers. And I mean, I'll tell you why this happened. I mean, you know, this young man, loved his girlfriend. That's why he stabbed her to death. You can look at him, you know, usury. The kid was like, looking kind of geeky. You know, she, probably used him, probably to help, probably help him, probably the kid was there to help her get straight A's, and she takes all the credit for it and then dumps him on his ass later on. Use him for his intelligence, but she's not attracted to that. She'll probably be attracted to that if he's able to make a lot of money in the future, but who wants to wait? Is someone who's like in their teens, who wants to wait until like 30 to 40 years to get the girl of their dreams, while this bitch, who's supposed to be the girl of your dreams, is fucking some asshole, some bad boy who's a fucking idiot? And what does that say about her? She's an idiot as well. So she's gonna give her the best of her years, and especially in her prime, to the no good men that she complains about, to the bad boys, to the thugs, to the jocks, to the rich boy who comes from a lot of money, and his first car is a fucking Mercedes Benz or Porsche Rolls Royce, whatever the fuck, Aston Martins. No, he got a sports car. I mean, and then you got that superstar athlete. I'm talking about the MVP. I already said jock. So, but I'm just going to be a little specific. The track star, the basketball star, the football, the quarterback, MVP, state champion. I mean, we have another parasite, and she's a parasite. When people say do not blame women for the reason why they are the way they are, I agree to a certain extent. It's not her fault. She didn't ask to come in this world fucked up, and she didn't ask to be placed on a pedestal. She didn't ask for all that shit. However, I'm not gonna let excuse her. I'm not gonna get by with the fact that she took advantage of the situation. It was wrong. You knew the situation was wrong. For you to be on your pedestal, for you to treat men like shit, and to think that you're superior to a man because you got a hole between your legs, and your hole is power. Well, it's powerful to kill a city block. I mean, to kill off a whole city with that foul odor and smell. And don't forget the STDs, and don't forget the AIDS, don't forget the herpes, the HIV, and gonorrhea and chlamydia that comes with the shit. That comes with the pussy. Because that's what it's worth. I mean, you defined yourself by a cunt. So this man got sick and tired of being forced to be alone, stereotyped out, and judged from 1 to 5 motherfucking seconds, labeled, teased, ridiculed, put down, harassed, abused, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, because you kill the spirits. And let me tell you, physical abuse, he's abused physically, but emotional abuse and mental abuse will last forever. He's scarred for life. And then you got the spiritual abuse that I believe that's never talked about. Because his self-esteem is ruined. His mind is destroyed because you people destroyed it. And then he does something like this. I don't know why people are outraged. Because you women create your own killers. I watched Lifetime as a kid to find out why men do what they do. Some men do what they do, and why men become violent killers against women. Women want to talk about some laws to protect your stupid ass when they ain't trying to protect themselves. If you want to really protect yourself, you treat someone the way you want to be treated. You treat somebody with respect, kindness, love, and dignity. What's so hard to do? Why is it so hard for you to do that? And then you want to give me the sob story about some girl who was nice to this guy and she got burnt. You want to pull on her story when you never done a nice thing for a man in your life. Chances are all the nice guys that you mistreated and dumped on and shit on, spat in their face, mocked, degraded, disrespected, belittled, heckled, very hostile, very belligerent, and just outright mean. And that you tormented and you made him less of a man and you emasculated the guy because you felt big, because you were on your pedestal. And you can get by with it, because if you try to stand up for yourself and raise your voice and curse the bitch out, you go to jail as a man. And she does something to you and attacks you, it was justified because you did something wrong. You said the wrong thing. Am I right? You said the wrong thing. And then you want to... Hold on. Then you want to talk about, More security, which I'm going to get into. I'm going to show you something else. If more of this happens.
Now to the stabbing on a Southgate school campus. The victim, a 17-year-old girl, died from her injuries last night. The stabbing happened at Southeast High School yesterday during the lunch hour. Eyewitness News reporter Melissa McBride is live in Southgate where the victim's ex-boyfriend was arrested. Melissa.
Bay, good morning. 18-year-old Abraham Lopez is in jail this morning. He's charged with murder and is being held without bail. Authorities accuse him of stabbing 17-year-old Cindy Santana here on campus. There's still some crime scene tape that remains in the area where this happened. Now, students say the two had been dating but were broken up and had a fight at lunchtime yesterday. Witnesses say Lopez punched Santana in the face, choked her, and then started stabbing her. The attack happened in front of dozens of students. A varsity football player and a female dean tried to subdue Lopez and suffered cuts. One student I talked to says that she saw blood and saw a friend of Santana's holding her hand on the ground. Santana was transported to St. Francis Medical Center in Linwood and died last night from her stab wounds.
I feel bad for the family and all the friends. Like, she's gone but never forgotten. I didn't know her, but like, all my respects are to her, and I wish that wouldn't have happened. And I wish there was more security in our school.
Many parents hurried to
all my respects are to her, and I wish that wouldn't have happened. And I wish there was more security in our school. All my respects are to her, and I wish that wouldn't have happened. And I wish there was more security in our school.
Are you serious, bitch?
Many parents hurried to the campus after receiving text messages from their children about the stabbing. The school was put on lockdown. Grief counselors are going to be here on Monday to be available for students and staff. The counselors are also going to be made available to Cindy Santana's family. Lopez remains in jail and he will be in court to make his first appearance to answer to that murder charge on Tuesday. Reporting live in Southgate, I'm Melissa McBride, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Do you know what I hate the most? Every time a tragedy like that happens, when it comes to any form of homicide, murder, violence, and when a woman most of the time gets killed, and most of the time if those violent incidents involving women, and then you got school violence, such as stabbing and shootings, and then you had that same problem in the workplace. Then, oh yeah, then you got just domestic violence. Out of all those, situations, what I hate the most is when I hear stupid ass people want to talk about more laws and more security. Like, that's gonna solve your problem. So that young female, the fat girl who said that her school needed more security so these things will stop happening. So she's a sheep, thanks to the dumbing down of the school system, what is really called a full system of indoctrination, not your education. It's indoctrination. To program you to be a sheep, to be just emotional, non-critical skills thinking having, all about eugenics. They tell you to treat people like they're less than human, even though you're less than human when it comes to the elite. To judge somebody, stereotype somebody out, and you don't know them, assume for them, and groupthink, label them, and mistreat them by enforcing your eugenics onto somebody, and when you don't want to get your own medication. You want to treat somebody the way you don't want to be treated yourself, which I never understood. Well, actually, I do understand. And thinking that you're better than somebody when you're not. You're a parasite. The bitch had it coming because she loved her drama. Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess you what the guy's just not supposed to react. He's supposed to just take her mistreatment and abuse and just be. That's the logic when it comes to most women. That's the logic when it comes to most people and how they treat men, heterosexual men. And a guy was telling me, I read a comment about just whether you're straight or homosexual, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual. As a male, if you have a dick between your legs, you're the scum of the earth. You're weak and inferior. You're undesirable. Unless you are that 10%, that 10%. You still have to go through hell for these females. Women have all the choice and all the say so, and men don't have none. And then you got to deal with pussy whipped males who are what used to be formerly known as manginas, and now it's been changed to nedginas because of the fact that there's nothing manly about these effeminate fags, weak parasites who will kiss a woman's ass and will always run to her aid and defend her no matter what, dump his own gender, stab his own male gender in the back so he can get his dick in the hole. So he's gonna take up for a woman, knowing and possibly knowing that she's wrong, but because he's been taught by his mother to all women are deserving of respect, and it's wrong for you to have any lust and desires about women. And it's wrong for you to like anything about them when it comes to their body parts. And then you're told by these feminists that they tell you what you should like, not what you actually should like. And that's the problem. Society tells men and women of what we should like instead of what we actually like. And I'm not talking about just going by looks. And then having these hit lists of high expectations, and you gotta have money, and you gotta be popular, you gotta have fame. You gotta be the status quo, so somebody can give you a time of day, and they gotta be in lust with you, and other people gotta like him too, because if you think for yourself and like somebody for who they are, you're wrong and you're stupid and you're dumb. When the fact of the matter is you're smart and intelligent if you can use your own brain instead of using somebody else's brain. That doesn't work. And your brain doesn't work if you're using somebody else's brain to begin with. And think for yourself. Decide for yourself instead of conforming to these peer pressures and all that other silly, immature stuff that you've been taught to believe in. I mean, it's just leading you down the wrong path. To be successful, you have to be cutthroat and you got to be dirty. People talk about hard work. Man, Judy, she did a video on that, and I may add that to the clip.
Somehow, the 1% will never change, and the whole idea is you got to change within self. So us selves got to change, and ourselves got to stop working and buying shit from Simmons. And anyone that walks and talks like Simmons, they are the greed. Anybody that's got a higher bank account than you, they did not work harder than you. They committed more crimes than you. We need to get that one right. Because it ain't about working hard. I worked hard and look at what I got. Nothing. So working hard does not make you money. Only crime pays. So anybody that's got more money than me, suck it up, you're a criminal. I know it. The rest of the world is starting to be awake to it, that it is criminal acts.
But she's dead on and she's spot on. People don't get ahead by working hard. People get ahead by criminal activity. People are successful through their criminal activity and their selfish greed, and do not care about what other people think. That's how I got it. Having more security. So basically, what this bitch wants, and all you people want, all this more security, and to have your freedom taken away because that's what you're giving up. When you allow a criminal dictatorship of a government to run your lives, you're not free. And they're going to kill you regardless. They're not here to protect you. They're lying to you. When you forsake your freedom for safety, you don't deserve neither one. You don't deserve neither. You don't deserve safety and you don't deserve freedom. You don't deserve freedom at all because you don't respect it. You don't value it. You don't value freedom. Because you know why you will forsake your freedom for safety? Because you don't want to grow the fuck up. You don't want to be responsible for your own actions. That's the price you pay for having freedom. You don't want to have discipline. You want to be babied. You want to be controlled. You want to be oppressed. You want to suck your master's dick. I mean, and this is why the bombs need to drop, and this is why World War III needs to happen. This is why we need to have these massacres, and this is why we need to have these wars. This is why the planet needs to be wiped off. This is why we need to be wiped out with famine and being terrorized and being murdered and maimed to death, and having these nuclear bombs just drop and destroy this planet. And then you have the fracking going on where just due to Pope, but due to the economic system being fucked up, and due to the fracking and doing all this drilling of holes and destroying your foundation underneath the earth. And then you got the natural pole shifts, and then you fall in and then you drown. And then you're underwater. And this is why, I mean, the human race needs to be wiped off the face of this planet, because we're sorry. You know, you want to talk about, if you want to stop the murder and the violence, you need to grow the fuck up and treat somebody. You need to grow the fuck up and treat somebody the way you want to be treated. You need to start looking at somebody beyond what they look like, and based on their height and their weight and their physical stature. You need to stop judging somebody, especially stop judging somebody based off their race, their skin color, their nationality, and what they believe in their class, and how much money they have, and dumb shit like that, and what they have when it comes to materialistic items. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to save you. This is the reason why you're enslaved the way you are, and this is why America, particularly, is a third world nation, and this is why the criminal bankers and the governments worldwide and the elite wealthy who run the politicians and the government. This is why we're going to get the one world government. This is why we will be permanent slaves of an underclass. Because that's what you wanted. Because you people never grew the fuck up. You were so full of yourself, and you were stroked into being just domesticated bitches and being complacent when you have never accomplished nothing. because you think you're better than somebody. That don't mean nothing. You know, this whole the haves and the have-nots attitude needs to go. We need to have this. We need to get rid of this monetary system because it's all about oppression. But you love your enslavement, so you deserve to die, and that's why I'm going to leave it at that. Big Boss Calvin, 83 signing out. Peace.
100 calories, a swap a day adds up to amazing. Join us on Facebook and start swapping.
Breaking news out of California where at least 6 people are dead following a shooting at a shopping center. It happened late this afternoon at a hair salon in Seal Beach, southeast of Los Angeles. Police say a total of 9 people were shot. 3 victims are reportedly in critical condition. One suspect, a man believed to be the sole shooter, was taken into custody at a traffic stop about a half-mile from the scene of the shooting. Several weapons were seized. At this point, the motive remains a mystery.
Yeah, as you see, I said the name of the video there's 128 ways to humiliate your wife. That's right. Instead of husband, I turned it around wife. By the way, it should be named 128 ways to commemorate my own killer. That's right. To draw up the blueprints and diagram to how to create my own very own killer so that I can die. That's right. That's what this should be named. After all, some psycho bitch, excuse my language, some sick fuck, that's right, more than likely a female or an vagina, more than likely a female, sat down and took the time to write up 128 different ways to get their fucking stupid, stinky asses killed. Okay? As they think this is normal behavior for women nowadays, to treat men like this, and then they whine and cry when they get themselves killed. And then they blame it back on the fucking victim, right? The victim, the guy, not the woman. That's right. See, in this situation, the woman is not the victim. She's the one doing the victimizing. But of course, you'll hear her try to turn it around and play, oh, poor me, oh, poor me. That's right, that's what she'll do. When in reality, there is no poor me about it. Yeah, so if you find a woman who believes this shit, and practice this shit on other guys. I mean, the only guy that would ever be willing to go for the shit in this list wouldn't be a man. Wouldn't be a man at all. It had to be some wimpy fucking, I mean, totally wimpy, pussy fucking whipped vagina. That's right. Who was neutered years ago. That's right. And they're not no man. They're a poor excuse of a human being. They're a lousy fucking poor-ass excuse of a human being. Because any real man would not put up with this bullshit right here. Any real man, a woman tries to pull this shit, you'll probably find her out of body alongside the road dead. That's right. What happened to her? She created her own killing. That's right. That's what happened to her. She designed and drew the blueprints to get herself killed because she wanted to die. She was suicidal, don't you know? I know that sounds crazy, no. You say, well, you don't condone violence. You said you don't condone violence, or you wouldn't, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm sorry. You know, human beings are human beings, and guys are human beings, too. Guys have emotions and feelings just like women do, yeah. Matter of fact, guys ain't really no different than women. They were born out of a woman's home, and the woman got pregnant by another guy. But these women are too stupid to remember that, ain't they? That's right. So they made up 128 fucking bullshit excuses, you know. You know, we'll go through a few here, and I'm going to leave the link underneath this video so that you can check this out yourself. That's right. Tease your husband with sex and sexual ideas. Comment on how good another man looks to you. That's right. So, guys, comment on how another woman looks so good to you. Okay? That's right. Tell your wife, that's right, that her fucking vagina is too big. Okay? That's what you tell her. That her vagina is too big. Okay? Tell your wife that her boobs are too small. Tell your wife your lovers are much better than her. That's right. Tell your wife she is a loser. Tell your wife she's a nutcase. That's right. Laugh and giggle every time your wife tries to look sexy. Okay? That's what I would say. That's right. Laugh and giggle and shake your head in contempt every time you see your wife trying to look sexy. That's right. Tell your wife you can't wait to have sex with another woman. That's right. Tell your wife you're hornier. That's right. You're hornier because you have been thinking of some other woman. That's right. Make your wife watch you as you prepare to go out to look for another woman. Make your wife watch as you prepare to go out on a date with another woman. Take a lot of care when you get ready to go out. Do yourself up really good. That's right. So that's right, okay? Shave your penis. Make your wife, that's right, bathe you. Shave your penis. That's right. See, I'm just turning the words around because that's what deserves to happen here, okay? Because the woman who wrote this deserves to have all this turned around on her ass. Okay? That's what wear ankle bracelets. There are so sign of that you are available to fuck. There you go. Or ultra sexy, revealing tight blue jeans for men. That's right. That's right. Okay, we'll skip the other one. Next one. Yeah, okay, we'll skip that one. Flirt heavily with other women at all times, especially in front of your wife. That's right. So remember that, guys. Flirt heavily with other women at all times, especially in front of your wife. Find and meet and go out with other cheating men. That's right. Form a local cheating husbands club. That's right. Make your wife give you lots of cash when you go out. Why? Because the women are the one majority working nowadays because all the men's jobs have been outsourced. So the wife should be giving you a ton of cash so you can do this to her, okay? Make your wife go out and get a hotel room. That's right. For your lover to use and bring you the key. That's right. Make your wife go out, go with you, and watch from across the bar club as you flirt and pick up on another woman. That's right. Make your wife drive you and your lover around while her and you shake and fuck in the back seat. That's right. Make your wife drive you and your lover to a motel. Make your wife sit in the car and wait until you're done, whenever that is. There you go. I was just figuring I'd turn some of these around. There's too many to read. There's 128 of them here. But I wanted you to see this because this is bullshit. This type of shit right here needs to be put to a stop, okay? But, you know, if you women think this is cool to write something up like this, just remember, I turn the words around, and it's cool for a guy to write something up like this about women, okay? And if you women want to practice this shit, the only guy you'll ever get by with isn't a man anyhow. That don't qualify as a man. Because there's no man in the right mind in the face of this earth that would ever let a woman pull this crap. And if a woman does pull this crap on her husband, on her boyfriend, and you find her body alongside the road dead, it's because she was begging to be killed. Because like I said, this really, the name of this video should be 128 Ways to Create My Very Own Killer, because I am a complete suicidal dumbass. Anyhow, to be comments and opinions in the next video, you have a good one.